Right. Hello.
Right, Hulk, we're live for round one Melbourne in the Formula Performance League. Just waiting for the lobby to start. Should be an exciting season.
Well, hopefully. Yeah, last season was pretty interesting. Went down to the final race, so have that again this year. It should be very good.
Yeah, one would hope. So got a few new faces on the grid as well. Got VSR Francis, got 20 Boy Junior, got Hulk, you name it. Sorry, we ain't got you.
I'm here. Um,
Yeah, but you got Abby Odin was here last season, but he dropped out. But you got Kingdom Martin, one of the reserves on the grid. So looking forward to it.
yeah, should be good. Obviously, the first proper racing we've seen on this game. Stuff that wasn't just practices or evaluations or what have you. So, first time we've seen them properly race each other for anything that means anything.
No, I agree with you. And we're getting viewers flying in at the moment. We've got 7 viewers watching. So we've got Voids here, saying Ashbest is sweating that much. He has a race engineer, so some drivers having to seek alternative measures to be able to find a result around here. So, pressure definitely creeping up on some of the elite drivers on the grid, according to Voids. We've got Abby Odin in the chat. We've got Onto the Podium. We've got Ash Best. We've got Josh Games. We've even got Oplossing saying 20 Boy Junior is on the pace with a help from his coach AMS. So, yeah, a lot to be considered for this one, Hulk.
Yeah, that is true. We also have the returning reigning champion, Jack Lacey, who took a victory in the final race of the season, racing in the Williams this time, so might be a bit more difficult for this race.
Yeah, it's not the easiest races to drive performance cars. A lot of people are going to struggle with the grip levels. People are going to struggle with understeer. People are going to struggle on the power. You just don't know what weather conditions can be thrown up around here either. As well, do you, Hulk?
No, that's true. We do have a slight risk of rain. I'm not sure. A few of them have done some wet practice, I believe, but nothing particularly extensive. So if that does happen, then it could throw a bit of a spanner in the works. Yeah, cars are completely different this season. In terms of pace, if you were in a Williams last season, you'd have been rather happy with that, but this season certainly not. If you were in a Samba last season, you almost guaranteed to be last, and again this season, not quite.
And we're just waiting for the last drivers to get up into the lobby and get underway. I think we're waiting for Tom AJ, one of the drivers. I think he was the F5 champion. He's now been promoted to F2, so running a little bit late. I don't know if he's missed a bus on the way in or running late. I don't know, but what happens when a driver turns up late for a race? Are you sweating before the start of a race? Can you get your mind into gear ahead of such an
It
important event?
depends. It depends if how well you've organised it, how late you are running. There's been times when I've quite literally had to sprint back in order to make a race, and yeah, that's not quite so fun. But if you've organised it well in advance, then you should be okay. So I think Tom has, but I can't be certain. So you
Yeah,
get a bit nervous because you're never sure if they're just going to start the bits without you. But it looks like we're waiting for Tom here, so he'll
yeah.
make it.
And just looking at the chat, Hulk, Haig is looking forward to this race. He's, excited. So it could be a big race for Haig. He did win some of the earlier rounds last season, so and then his championship bid kind of trailed. So he'll be a driver to keep your eyes peeled open for.
Yeah, that is true. He was in the Ferrari for a couple of races and completely dominated those races. But then some of the later car allocations were perhaps a bit harsh on him, and cause him to fall away a little bit. But hopefully, if he gets some more consistent allocation, we can truly see him launch a more prolonged title bid this season.
Yeah, we've got 16 viewers on stream. I don't think we've ever had such high viewing on FP, and the race isn't even underway. So, thank you to those who are tuning in. We're just waiting for FP to get underway. And, Hulk, just while we're on FP, that it usually is, a league that gets underway a little bit later than some of the others.
Yeah, that's true. And last season we had several instances where we had to restart it as well. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen this time because, with the extended qualifying session and what have you, we could be missing well into the night if that is the case. But hopefully we manage to get underway with no issues, and I believe we are about to get underway now as people begin to ready up.
Yeah, I think Tom's struggling with the download of the game. He's come home a little bit later, and I think the admins have decided to get underway here. It's starting in a few seconds. Oh, the people not readying up here, but it is underway.
Yep, whether that was a late call to cancel or not, but either way, we are about to get underway here with our first qualifying session of the new season.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat, and it is underway. I think I just put start in the chat because I thought, it's taken a while. It's 6 minutes past, and I wonder what conditions we're going to get here, Hulk.
Well, we're about to find out. It's very harsh on Tom because he was very close to being able to make it into the lobby, but just missed out by a few seconds.
Yeah, and we're just waiting to see what conditions we've got. It's dry conditions, Hulk. Dry.
Yep, looks very dry at the moment. I can't see any signs of rain. Well, it might change for the race tomorrow, obviously, or maybe even later on in the session. Hopefully, a rather kind driver will let us know that.
Yeah, and I'm just going to ask people how's the mic volumes as well, just to see whether we've got the volumes cracked, because sometimes you can have huge differences between people's volumes. But hopefully it's all good. And we've got a Williams out of Ash Guest. We've also got a Renault coming out of 20 Boy Junior. A lot of smoke dust. We've also got a Ferrari. I don't know if that's Juho Finn. Did he? Normally Juho comes out a bit later, but no, it's not out.
No, the first actually wasn't Ash Best's ones. It was the McLaren of Aviodin. So he's out on the super soft tyre, it appears, not the ultras. So maybe just testing the waters a bit.
Yeah, and Hulk, we're getting reports that it's going to be a dry race. So Haig's engineer is saying dry conditions all throughout. So good news for us. Maybe not so good news for some of the slower guys who might be banking on rain to find that extra performance.
Yeah, you can never really, if you're hoping for rain just to improve your performance, then well, maybe you should just try and practice a bit more, try and improve a bit more, because rain is quite rare. Is anyone close to beginning that flying lap?
Yeah, it's going to be Abby Oden, the first man to begin his flying lap. He's getting those tyres heated up. He's gone out on the super soft, so maybe he's looking to see if he can get into the top 10 and start, on what would be perhaps a better race tyre. So, Hulk, do you want to take us on board in the McLaren Renault here of Abby Oden?
Yep, as Tom joined there, as Abby Oden begins the first qualifying lap of F1 2018 on PSGL, heads through the first corner. He ran a little bit wide on the exit there, but looks to be a solid drive as he heads down now through what is turn 3, I believe, down to second gear. He can't take that in third, but he decided against it, now up to fourth for this left-hander. Now heading through this corner, you don't really want to take too much curve, but it can cause you to lose the car, and he has avoided that as he heads down towards the end of Sector 1 with a 27-second dead in Sector 1, and there are yellow flags all over the shop, but I don't think that's going to affect him too much as he now brakes hard down for this right-hander down the third gear. He can't do that in fourth, he's decided against it, and now I think towards the end of Sector 2 is he going to, this fast left-right chicane, what's he going to do in this? In his fifth gear, accelerates through up to 7th as he is now down. This is now a DRS zone, it wasn't last season. Now down to the final few corners, this left-hander which you take in fourth gear, and just a slight bit of oversteam on the exit there, but just managed to hold it, and he's already ran out of ARS, which isn't good. So in this back straight here, as he heads round the final corner, fourth gear, accelerating up to 5th, 6th, 7th, and that time is a 1:22.3, which isn't the fastest we've seen in terms of practice time.
It's not bad. It's not bad. 20 Boy Junior's just gone a tenth behind him. What about Ash Best here in the Williams Mercedes? Here we go. Ash Best, one of the hottest properties on the PSGL site, and it's 6/10 off in the Williams. That's not good. Who else is out there? JP Greenwood. I think he's still got a while to go. I know one man who's always out there on a lap at CC Brain, and he puts it third. Anything else you can see out there, Hulk? Jack Lacey?
You can see the end one. Jack Lacey, the reigning champion. What's he going to do? He heads down towards the finish line. So 1:22.8, so he is ahead of Ash Best at least.
And Chicken Owens goes fastest in the run. That's a good lap time. I think there's a Toro Rosso coming across the line in the background. I think that was AMS. 8/10 off pole on the super soft tyres, so not good enough. What about this man, JP Greenwood? Here we go. To the line in the Scuderia Ferrari, and he's starting the lap. You know what? You might as well stay on board with him here, Hulk. Just describe what we're seeing here. You know, JP Greenwood, a very popular driver on the site, isn't he?
Well, yeah, I suppose you could say that. He had a strong finish last season. I think he scored a fair few points after the first half of the season when he scored absolutely zero. He's in the Ferrari this season, he was in the Mercedes all of last season, and he runs very wide there towards the end of Sector 1 and 8/10 down on what was Abbey Oden's first sector time, but he's in the Ferrari this season on the super soft tyre as well, so he's going for perhaps an alternate strategy, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do in that car, whether he'll have more success than he did last year.
I'm just wondering, Hulk, you know, JP Greenwood, he does struggle with some of these corners. Will he be able to get it through the chicane? Look at that, absolutely wrenching the wheel. And see you later, JP Greenwood. I knew he was going to crash. I just knew it. And JP Greenwood out of qualifying. Oh my goodness. That is one of the worst crashes I've seen. He just struggled to get the fingers moving on the analog stick. And JP Greenwood is out. Oh, what happened?
It's very easy to do. Obviously, just went a bit wide on the exit of the chicane. It spits you out into the barriers. Yeah, not much you can do when you lose control of the car. But yeah, 5 minutes in, and 6 minutes in, nothing's there. And yeah, I've already had his first retirement of the season.
Yeah, well, that's a shame. But JP's got to come back stronger for the race. VSR Francis has retired. I wonder if he's crashed out somewhere, I don't know. But Wacko here on an out lap in the Sauber, so as we see there's another Sauber that spun. I don't know, that must belong to Francis, who's gone third. So Francis has lost the car out in the chicane as well. I wonder if JP Greenwood's debris had anything to do with that hole.
Yeah, it's looking like a very dangerous area of the track here. See if it's as dangerous in the race as we can qualifying. Might have to be a bit more careful for heavy fuel load, but yeah, hopefully that's going to be the last time to see Ryan after again.
I think we'll see plenty more Hulk. We've got 20 viewers on stream. We've got Gaming Adam Wonder. We've got Jamie. We've got QPR Beasts, a man who finished 4th in a 3-horse race. We've got Big C in here as well. So, and we've got Simo. So we've got a lot of people tuning in on a Tuesday evening. You know, they clearly don't want to watch the football. They want to see the FP League. And we're on board here with Wacko in the Sauber Ferrari here. The Alfa Romeo Sauber. as he
Yeah, it
locks
sounds
up.
a bit fancier to say that, but it is just a Sauber really. The Alfa Romeo is just a brand name and nothing more at the moment. As he locks up there and he's really swung the car into that corner as he hits down towards the chicane here. Will he be the third driver to retire going through that chicane?
You'd hope not, and he looks like he's done it pretty smoothly. I think drivers are struggling with grip out there. It is relatively early in the session, got yellow flags out there somewhere as well, but, you know, enough about those. But Wacko here, he's got to get a good lap in. He's fast but fragile. He does lack a little bit of consistency. They've retained him in the PSGL F1 League. So, you know, he's got something to prove here. You know, a lot of people doubting his ability, but undoubtedly he is a very good driver. And he goes 8th in the Sauber. That's not a bad lap time in front of good friend Jack Lacey. So that's good news for him. And is there anything else you can see out there, Hulk? I know Flying Throne's gone 3rd in a Force India on a set of super softs. That is an absolutely astonishing lap time.
Yeah, he's done well. I was looking up maybe why we had 2 people who suddenly left the session. There didn't appear to be any reason for it. Just a bit of a bug or a glitch or what have you, and yeah, they are rejoining now, but a bit of a shame for them, especially Daniel who hasn't yet put a lap in the Mercedes. Yeah, in terms of cars on track, there's not really a lot going on at the moment, I don't think.
No, I'm just thinking, you've got Juho Finn, you've got Mr. Grumpy who are yet to set lap times. I'm just wondering who we go on board with out of these two. Who do you fancy? A bit of Juho or a bit of Mr. Grumpy, you know?
I'll let you pick that one.
Alright, I don't know. I think Juho's furthest down the line here to start a lap, so we will give him the airtime. The Flying Finn, as they like to call him, as he wrenches that Ferrari around the corner. Power unit is really good in it. He's gone to hot lap mode on the ERS, so Juho Finn really flying out there, and he is really a cultured driver, isn't he? He's a really good racer. I mean, you've raced with him in the past.
Actually I haven't, but he has been around for a long time, and all that much. And yeah, currently bases in F6s, I believe, or F6 or F7, one of the two, as well as F3 and let's see how he does here. He scored a few points last season. I believe he outscored his I'm not sure if it was a team, maybe he outscored JP Greenwood, who was in the Mercedes with for the entire season, so if we can do that again this time with Ferrari, I'm sure he'd be happy with that. Maybe a few more point scoring positions as he gets down towards the end of Sector 2. Yeah, it's been a rather clean lap before, though we ran wide.
There's green flags, sorry, there's yellow flags. It's Jack Tyler who's out in the Red Bull. Jack Tyler's out at the same place JP Greenwood's crashed, so a lot of these drivers, you know, are struggling through that chicane. You know, I don't know whether he's closing his eyes through there, but you know, Jack Tyler's out of the session as we watch Juho Finn round the final corner here in the Ferrari. Where can he put it? JP Greenwood's out. The hopes of Ferrari rest in the hands of Juho Finn, and he goes 14th, just in front of his teammate. What about Mr. Grumpy, the most experienced driver in the world? He goes 4th in the house.
Yeah, it's a very good lap from Mr. Grumpy. To point out that Juho Finn went off at turn 1, which as soon as he completed that lap, crashed into the barrier at the end of turn 1 there, but he's carrying on. He just about managed to keep the car together in one piece at least. But yeah, that's the 6th of the grid now, restored the vehicle at the chicane.
Yeah, and CC Brain.
Good lap from him. I mean, it's a 1-2 for the McLarens at the moment. Something we've not been able to see for a long time.
Yeah, and I wonder who else we should keep an eye on. I'm just wondering, is Chicken Owens going to be a threat? He did set an early benchmark, so he is out there. But looking at it, he's running out of these ERS, and I don't know if he's given up on this lap here. It's got traffic.
It's not going to be a very competitive lap, otherwise, is it? I mean, he's got no ERS. He's in standard mode. Probably pit this lap, I think.
Yeah, pull the plug on that one. Who else is going to be out there? Because, you know, we've got an 18-minute qualifying session now, so a lot of drivers might be keeping it a bit cool, you know, maybe playing the cards close to their chest.
You can quite easily get 3 runs in on this game. You couldn't last time, unless it was a very short track. But this time you can use all of your tyre sets if you want to.
Yeah, and Haig Hulk. He's out there on the super softs. He went out there on the softs and he put it 14th on the grid, and now he's gone out on the super soft. So, you know, the mid-range tyre compound here, as there's a McLaren in the gravel trap, certainly looking to pick up some rubber, must be underweight or something. But here we go. Warren Haig to the line. He's got a lot of ERS at his disposal in overtake mode, and he goes third in the Red Bull on a set of super softs. That's a brilliant lap time.
It is. I certainly didn't expect to see that. It was very quick. Didn't look like a very good first sector, but he certainly made it up in the next 2 and sits in 3rd now. I'm not sure if he'll bother going out on the upper softs. I'm not sure if he can even.
Yeah, we'd just like to send our birthday wishes out to Game Freaker, who's you know, going to be, I don't know what age he's going to be, but it's his birthday
20.
tomorrow. 20.
Yep.
Lovely. I don't know who else is out there, but I know there's yellow flags out there. I don't know who would bring out the yellow flags at this stage.
Anyone who's gone off the chicane, probably.
Yeah, so a lot of people are in the pit lane, so this is an opportunity for people like Chicken Owns and Mr. Grumpy to get out and get some television coverage here. Kingdom Martin's also out there as well, but you know, we've got to look at the top range drivers, and I'm sure Kingdom Martin, if he puts on a set of the softer tyres, then you know, he could be a force to be reckoned with. But it is very tight, isn't it? Looking at the top 14 separated by
I'm
less
not
than a second.
sure if Kingdom Martin is actually in the lobby, or whether that's just an AI car.
Well, it looks pretty fast, mate.
It wasn't through the first sector though. I suppose we'll see.
No,
That's where I'm going to leave.
yeah, we'll go on board with someone else then. We'll go on board with Chicken Owens here. The man who did set the early benchmark. He's currently in front of his uncle, Flying Throne. So he'll be wanting to stay there as he picks up a little bit of dust ahead of his flying lap here. Car number 23. And Hulk, you know this Renault team very well. I'm sure you'll be cheering them on for a good result here.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Renault have had a bit of a falling out recently. No longer in the employ. So yeah, maybe not as much as they would have last season. Chicken Owens is a very solid driver. He had a solid season last year, so maybe he can push on, go for a title fight this season if he gets a good string of results together.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know, it's now or never, isn't it, for Chicken Owens? You know, a lot of people, you know, rated this man highly when he was back in F4 a couple of seasons ago. He made the move up to F3, but he's back down to F4. You know, I thought he had the talent to be, you know, maybe in the top 2 tiers, but Chicken Owens, you know, looking to rebuild his reputation, overshadowed by Uncle Flying Throne. What can Chicken Owens do here now? In the Renault, he's absolutely pushing, using all of the ERS recovery available to him. And yeah, it's a good chicane. Oh, he slowed down. He slowed down at the exit of it. Have he given up? He has. I wonder if he's given up.
He might
the
have got an
ghost.
invalidation. Yeah, I didn't quite see. He might have cut the chicane a bit too much.
He might have, Hulk, but Mr. Grumpy, the most experienced man on the grid. Here we go in the Haas Ferrari. What can we do here with Mr. Grumpy? He goes 7th, 4 tenths off pole. That's a good lap time for Grumps. Not that bad. Not a bad effort. But there will be others out there looking to improve, like Ash Best, AMS, Flying Throne, Wacko, Jack Lacey in 14th. He'll want to improve as well. So there's a lot of battling yet to be done. And can you see anything out there, Hulk?
Not at the moment. People are gearing up to begin their laps. There's a few people who are on flying laps. I mean, I think Mr. Grumpy might be going for a second run.
Ooh, I don't know if we'll go on board with Mr. Grumpy. I know Wacko's high up there as well. I think Flying Throne in the Force India. I think he's one to keep an eye on. And we've got Gaming Alan Wonder saying that Warren Haig is the man that he would put his money on to get pole position by a country mile. Flying throne picks up a bit of dust in the Force India. That is awful. Oh no, he's going to start outside the top 10. That might not necessarily be a bad thing, but I'll be surprised if he improves here.
Well, his first lap wasn't that quick. He's going third, so I think a bit of a mistake there. He's still got enough time to go for a second lap if he wants to. I'm not sure if he has the ERS for it though. Yeah,
but Wacko, Hulk, in the Sauber, this man's got something to prove.
Yeah, he does. See how his lap, he's sitting in 13th at the moment. He'll certainly want to improve on that. Locks up going into the penultimate corner. Let's see, Van's final corner. Let's see how much will he improve. Will he improve at all? He's coming on a 122.5, and he improves up to a 122.1, so he moves up one position.
That's not good enough, Holt. It's not good enough. But Jack Lacey in the Williams, he's absolutely struggling. Oh, forget Juho Finn. Forget him. He was on the harder compound, wasn't he? But Jack Lacey can't improve. He cannot improve. Oh, Twanny Boy Jr.'s gone fastest. Where's AMS? Where's Abby Oden? Abby Oden's round in the final corner in the McLaren. McLaren have been going strong all qualifying session. Can Abby Oden overturn the form book? It's Abby Oden. It's Abby Oden. Who else, Hulk? Who else? Warren Haig. Warren Haig's out. Here we go with Haig to the line.
A strong lap.
It's not.
No, it's only up to P5. It's a slight improvement, but not enough.
AMS is out. What about Ash Best? He's out of the session as well. Have we got an order? No, Dano. Can Dano overturn the form book in the Mercedes? He did finish second at Malaysia at the season finale. What can Dano do here? 12 seconds off the pace, and he goes 12th ahead of Wacko and reigning champion Jack Lacey. So there we have it.
Fair bit of an improvement from Dano there, right at the deck, maybe about 5 positions.
Oh my god!
Still maybe not the way he wants to, but yeah. So.
Yeah.
These 18-minute qualifying sessions take a lot out of you.
Yeah, they do. I'm ready to go to sleep after that. Who? If you had to pick a driver to win the championship at the end of the season, who would you pick and why? Very quickly.
I think it's far too early to be saying anything about that, really. McLaren's look good though. But whether they have the consistency to do it throughout the entire season remains to be seen. Chrome could be one there. He's always very consistent.
No, that's a good shout. I'd go with for this league. I think I'd probably go with drivers like CC Brain or Abby Oden. I feel like they're just, there might be getting favourable car choices.
Well, he's certainly done well in the McLaren. I'm not sure how quick the McLaren is on this game. I know he's chaining back with Ash, but I don't know exactly where along.
Yeah, and there we have it. Grid order. I've even got a bit of XP, so happy days.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. So it's Abby Oden on pole from Twanny Boy Jr. Look at those margins. Ugi's in third, CC Brain fourth, Haig fifth, Flying Frame sixth, Chicken Own seventh, Kingdom Martin eighth. So good effort in the end. AMS 9th, Grumpy 10th, so Grumpy probably starting in the worst position possible on the grid, He would have probably liked free tyre choice. Ash Best in 11th, a good position to start from. Dano 12th, Wacko 13th, Francis 14th, Jack Lacey, a disappointing day in 15th, and then you got Juho Finn and the rest. And JP Greenwood and Jack Tyler, the people who died.
Hopefully they won't do it twice. As we line up for the very first race of PSGL on F1 2018, I don't know who your favourite is, Evan.
I'm going to go with, for this race, I think Haig. I think Haig on the long run, he might be able to pull something off. I think he'll be able to manage his tyres a little bit better, but
Is he on super softs? Or did he qualify in ultras at the end?
Oh, he got ultras, didn't he? He got ultras. Yeah, I can't call it, Oh, just go Haig. Go Haig, stick with someone you know.
Yeah, it's a fair shout. He's in a good car.
What about
splitting
you?
its tyres. Oof, just Abbey Oldham look fast. Um, I struggle to look past him really unless it's a first corner incident.
Yeah. Oh, the lights are going underway. Is it a formation lap? It is. It
Yes,
is. So
it
that.
is.
Oh, thank God.
I thought you were getting excited there for a race start, but no.
Yeah.
It's got a little while to wait yet.
Oh, it's actually quite good having a formation lap because it allows you to see what tyres people are opting to start on. So Kingdom Martin actually qualifying in the top 10 starts on the super soft tyres, so that will help him in the race. And everybody except for JP Greenwood outside the top 10 have elected to go for the super soft tyre compound. So, you know, and there's a contact between JP and Jack Tyler, so wonder if we'll see that later.
Yeah. Ash Best sat in 11th position. You're probably right. It is one of the best positions on the grid to be in with that free tyre choice. He's elected to go for the alternate strategy. Let's see how it works out for him first.
Yeah, but he needs to get those tyres warmed up, as to any driver on those super soft tyres, because you know what's going to happen, Hulk. If you don't get your tyres warmed up, you are going to struggle on the opening lap. You are going to be vulnerable. You are going to be susceptible to some of the vultures behind, like JP Greenwood, who are ready to pounce and leap on any mistake and opportunity that presents itself.
Yeah, the tyres are too cold. You're also susceptible to putting it in the barrier at the first corner you see, as I found out a couple of days ago. But and hopefully people have warmed up the tyres enough for that not to be too much of an issue.
Yeah, and Abby Oden here, going to line up on the grid, just getting those tyres warmed up. We've got Tom on the grid as well in the Force India, so good to see Tom out there. You know, got a few representatives here from the F2 League. You know,
I did join it.
Francis, Tom, and of course, Flying Frame. Got drivers from all leagues. It's a league that the drivers enjoy the most as we wait for cars to line up here. So Jack Lacey taking his time to get onto the grid. Juho Finn taking his time, and Tom has just got himself in. Now we're going to go back to the view up the front from Abbey Oden. This is a dodgy view here.
I'm sure it'll change.
Oh,
I hope it'll change.
Yeah, I hope so. But these yellow flags. I wonder what's happened. There's a fault with the lights. No, it's going to go out very soon here. Abbey Oden and Twanny Boy share the front row. And we're underway here in the Formula Performance League. I think Twanny has got away all right, but I think Ugi Azim's made a good start. There's movement in the background as well as Ugi Azim sweeps around. And I wonder if the McLaren's going to have a go there. CC Brain, I think there's contact behind. I don't know who's dropping down the order. I think it's AMS. But look at that.
It is AMS and Chicken in the Renault who dropped massively at the start there. And
Jack Lacey's up to 9th. So hold on. You got Jack Lacey here. You know, he's having a lot of, I don't know, it's Wacko, Francis, Jack Tyler, Jack Lacey. Too many Jacks here. You know, they're absolutely going at it.
Yeah, what a start from Jack Tyler. He's got up from 18th up to 11th position already in that Red Bull.
And no damage picked up.
No, exactly, and there has been something to meet the start. That's why AMS and Chicken and Dano and Ashbest, crucially, has got miles behind the rest of the field.
Hulk, Flying Frome and Mr. Grumpy are having a little tussle out there, and there's a Mercedes, a Kingdom Martin having a go. And look at that, Flying Frome has to go a little bit defensive there. And look at that, as Kingdom Martin slots in behind this pair, so everybody really, really close and bunched up to each other. So, you know, a good start there from Mr. Grumpy as well. But, you know, Abbey Oden leads the way as Wacko and Jack Tyler are tussling here, Hulk. Look at this.
Yep, it's just a all the way down the field as we enter lap 2, and can Jack Tyler, he's already up into the points, but Wacko trying to have a look at it and couldn't quite manage it. Jack Tyler in the points on the, is that a Mercedes gone wide there, and he's just pushed a Sauber wide.
Mr. Francis has gone wide. He's lost a heap of positions, and look at that. Oh no, Jack Lacey trying to hang it around the outside in the Williams. Is he going to get that position? He does. But Francis is going to come back out around the outside. Oh, you have to back out of that one, and he does so. And there's a driver in front, a little bit out of sorts. Oh, it's Kingdom Martin versus Walker, and there's an accident somewhere. There's an accident. Ash Best down to 18.
Yep, he's been down there, I think it's about turn 1, I believe. He hasn't had a very good start, and Kingdom Martin going side by side with absolutely everybody as he's really struggling to manage that kind of
Oh my goodness! Kingdom Martin has lost his win. Oh my goodness me. And oh no, this is a hell of a start. Everybody absolutely scrambling over positions. And VSR Francis trying to attack Jack Lacey. Is he going to go down the inside? Yes, he does. And oh, a little bit of contact. And yeah, a little bit of a side swap. Will Jack turn in? No, he leaves space there. But, oh no, forced Jack Lacey off there. He forced Jack Lacey off there. Jack Lacey disrespected the reigning FP champion. Shown a lot of disrespect there. He should have been given a lot more space, Hulk.
Yeah, he should have been. He did very well to keep it out the wall, in fact, but he's still in a certain position. He's made out a couple of places since the start, even with that entry into the grapple.
20 Oogie and CC Brain are battling, and look at that. 20 Boy Jr. is into the gravel. What's happened there? He's lost a couple of positions. So, oh no, he's down to 5th. A man who started on the front row struggling as he spins. Oh, so much for having AMS as a driver coach. And oh, drivers having to avoid him. Oh, massive accident. JP Greenwood is out. JP Greenwood right into the side of 20 Boy Jr. Hulk, what happened?
I don't know, that was an absolute mess, and JP Greenwood becomes the first retirement of the season in both sessions. So yeah, not a very good start. We could see a safety car for that. Probably not, though. It's quite difficult to come out in this game. Yeah, that was absolute carnage. Jack Tyler is out of the race.
Oh, well, forget him now. He's gone. You know, whatever JP does, I can do it better, says Jack Tyler. And, you know, I can't say I'm surprised, but Ugi Azim certainly having a shaky start as Abby Odom pulls away. And Haig definitely keeping his nose in there as well. I wonder if there's any other close tussles on the grid. I know Ash Best is back up to 12th, so I know Jack Lacey lost out a little bit there, but look at this. This looks to be a race-long battle here, doesn't it, Hulk?
Quite possibly, as Dano can have a look up the outside and up there. Can't quite mind it, even with the weird of DRS. 20 Boy Jr. has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, but apparently a virtual safety car. I didn't notice that.
Oh, so there's a virtual safety car that has been deployed.
Yeah, a couple of people. I don't think anyone's really close enough to go into the pits.
No, 20 Boy's gone into the pits, of course, as you noted, but he's got a drive through. DRS enabled. The DRS is enabled. Mr. Grumpy's close to flying frame here. So the race has been restarted. I wonder who's alert here. Mr. Grumpy looks the most alert. Has he got his tyres warmed up? No, he's not close enough there to put Frome under any sort of threat. But CC Brain certainly not letting go of Oogie Azim. It's like a dog with a leash. Here is Oogie.
Yeah, he's done well to make up one position, but yeah, CC Brain now stalking him all the way through this final sector. He's going to have the DRS onto the pit straight with a Renault engine versus a Honda engine. Dano,
Dano around the outside of Ash Best, but Ash Best defends that. Is he going to do the up and under there? Is Dano? Yes, he is. A fantastic overtake. Is he going to run Ash Best out wide a little bit? Yes, he does, but Ash can't lose too much in that, so Dano probably fair in that manoeuvre. But Warren Haig now over the back of CC Brain as well. So Oogie Azim struggling in this opening segment of the race here, Hulk.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a train following behind him now. He's got CC Brain, Warren Haig flying from going to be all following him at a relatively close distance. So one mistake and anyone can be in the podium at this rate. And somebody's just almost hit the wall there. I think it was Rocco, but he just managed to hold it.
Yeah, and I wonder when we'll start to see, people starting to pit for fresh rubber, maybe trying to go for the undercut, because if you're in this train, you can make up a lot of positions. It is a risk, but, would drivers like Mr. Grumpy be prepared to gamble? They could get a podium out of it, so, the podium is wide open here for the from 2nd to 6th, pretty much.
Yep, well, from what I thought, it's possible to do a one-stop on the soft tyre. You pit around lap 9 with the soft tyre. Maybe a couple of laps later. If you're on the super soft, you can go slightly further. Your tyres do end up a fair bit quicker towards the end of the stint than the people on ultras as well. So
Yeah.
maybe people will be trying to undercut by pitting on lap 8 or so, but still a few laps, a few laps before that happened yet.
No, I agree with you. And just very quickly, Hulk, people are questioning why 20 Boy put his car back onto the middle of the circuit into oncoming traffic. You know, people felt that, you know, he should have waited for the traffic to pass. As we see a threat here for the Force India flying frame, is he going to have a go at Haig? No, Haig goes defensive, covers the inside line using all of his experience available. But, you know, back onto 20 Boy, should he have, you know, done that?
Well, potentially it is in the rules that you are not allowed to rejoin the track unsafely until it is. You have to wait until it is safe to do so. Perhaps he didn't do that, in which case it could be a potential serious inquiry, but I didn't really get a good enough view of it to make any particular judgment call on that.
Yeah, and we did see some yellow flags slightly, so I think Mr. Grumpy must have had a little bit of an office flying frame, puts Haig under pressure. Another movement for the final point. Tom has passed Chicken Own, so sadly we missed that, but we're not going to miss flying frame here. You know, ruffling the feathers of Warren Haig here. You know, flying frame finished 4th in the last race of champions. You know, the F3 champion, I believe, as well. So, you know, Frame definitely building his credentials on the PSGL site. And Ugyazim is starting to close in to Abiodun as Abiodun pits. I wonder where he's going to feed back out into traffic. Is he going to come out into clean air? Because you don't want to come out behind Jack Lacey, do you?
No, and that is an early stop. I wonder what tyre he's going on to. If he goes on the softs, that will be an attempt at a one stop, but it will be an early one. Yeah, I think he is going on the softs, so yeah, it's be interesting to see whether we can make those tyres last.
Let's see where he feeds back out.
Laps. Looks like he's behind. Is that Jack? Yes, it is Jack Wilson. So
ooh, that's not what you want. A Mercedes-powered car. So they haven't really timed that pit stop window too well. He could set to lose out a little bit, but you know, it is a waiting game. And look at this. You've got drivers scrambling over positions here. CC Brain, Haig, and Flying Frame coming towards the end of their stint lives here. You know, Hulk. Any of these guys could end up on the podium. Any of them. Even Wacko behind.
Yeah, that's very true, especially if there's a bit of an incident between them. It's very possible depending on how close they're running. They will be thinking about responding to Abiodun. Perhaps pitting this lap, maybe next lap. But yeah, Abiodun is slowly catching Jack Lacey.
VSR Francis! Sorry, I don't know if VSR Francis are having the issue, Hulk. He's doing yellow flags out and he's losing positions here. Chicken Owens goes around the outside and oh no, Francis's days going from bad to worse. And what about Ash Best? Will Ash Best put the nail in the coffin? And he does. I wonder if Francis is going to have to stop here. He does. He goes in. I think he's picked up a bit of damage. So nobody responded there. AMS has been passed by Tom. So Tom making his way up through the field. You know, he was crying. He said, you know, wait for me. But the session went, and from the back of the grid, Tom is up into 7th, so he's running really, really strongly in this race. You know, good showing so far.
He's up 12 positions, which is outstanding. When you think of it, he just managed to navigate his way through all the incidents and just work his way up to a decent point scoring position.
Yeah.
In the Force.
Oh, there's movement.
Yellow flag.
Flying frame down the inside of Haig, and Haig opens the door slightly, but will. Flying Frame have the engine power to make the move. I think Warren Haig's accepted it, and Haig will slot in behind like the experienced veteran that he is. But will he have a go back at Frame using his grip down here? No, Haig's starting to run out. I'm looking behind, and CSR Abiodun is right behind Jack Lacey. I do want to have a look at this here. Look at that, he's going alongside. I don't think Jack wants to leave the inside open. Oh!
Did he run in the back of him there?
Maybe.
It seemed very close.
Yeah,
everything been trying to do.
Hulk, he's got to run. He's got to run here, Hulk.
He has. He's going to be desperate to get past as soon as possible. Can he manage it? He's pushed Jack Lacey wide there, pretty much right onto the grass. But yeah, he has managed to force his way through, which is absolutely crucial if you wanted to hold on to what was the lead of the race.
Yeah, and Ugyazim's in. There's a Ferrari in as well. Who the hell is that?
That's Stewart in his lockdown.
Okay, so where will Oogie come out? Is he going to come out in front of Jack Lacey? This is crucial. This is crucial. And Jack Lacey swoops ahead of Oogie Azim. Another poorly timed pit stop window possibly. So that's not going to help Oogie at all. I think if Haig goes in now, this could work in his favour because Jack's got a little bit of dust on his tyres. So, you know, Oogie is vulnerable here.
Yep, that is true. And I think if you look at it, Oogie came out a lot closer to Jack Lacey than Abiodun did, so it's quite clear that he's dropping back compared to the leaders. So if the leaders can just hold out for another lap or so, then they will probably jump Jack Lacey and even in doing so also jump Oogie.
Yeah, but they won't be aware of that, Hulk. You know, these three here, you know, whoever pits now will get the undercut. This is a good opportunity. If you're Warren Haig, you will go in. But if the two cars in front of you go in, you stay out. And no, Haig, he stays out. He stays out, so he realised that. So Haig's playing the long game. So it'll be interesting to see where CC Brain comes out as well as Flying Frame. Will Force India get the jump on McLaren here? It's a battle of the pit stops, Hulk.
Well, that will find out. Let's see a decent stop for the super soft tyres going on the Flying Frame's car. That's an interesting choice.
And he's got the jump. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. A car's just appeared out of nowhere. But what, Jack Lacey? Jack Lacey's the man you want to watch. Has he come out in front? He has, in front of all of them.
Yeah, some incredible pace from Jack Lacey there to manage to jump all of the leading cars still, although he does have to make a stop, obviously. Yeah, now he's got his own train going behind him with all the leaders and Duofin in there for good measure, although a lap down.
Yeah, and Oogie Azim, the Pakistani, can he make a move now on good friend Jack Lacey? The teammates in the F1 league, bearing in mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether Jack is interested in making it particularly easy to get past. It's also about to find out, but it's certainly not helping Oogie's race at the moment. Abiodun has already pulled a good 4.5 seconds on Jack, so
the move's been done.
It has. You know, it was all fairly easy, fairly gentlemanly between the two, so maybe there was a bit of a friendly helping hand given there.
Yeah, I wouldn't like to know, but Haig's come in. I wonder if he's come in a lap too late. I mean, he'd want to come out ahead of Mr. Grumpy ideally. But, you know, there'll be a lot of drivers having to negotiate Jack Lacey here as Finn allows the faster cars to go through here.
Well, there's a long way back.
Yeah. Well, he's got to hope Jack Lacey doesn't make it easy for the likes of CC Brain and Flying Brain to make their ways through. And Jack and CC Brain are good friends as well.
That is true. I'm not sure if Jack would even have an option of making it difficult. I mean, his tyres are a fair bit older, and he's also in a far slower car than CC Brain, so I'm not sure if there's much he can do to keep the McLaren behind him.
Yeah, and look at that.
Inside here. No, he's going to wait for the DRS, I think.
Yeah, I think if he has enough drive out of it, he might go for it into the chicane, and I think CC Brain is not a man to wait around. If he takes an opportunity to do an overtake, he will go for it, and he does. So Jack Lacey will be out of sorts into the chicane. Will this present an opportunity for Flying Frame? No, it doesn't, because Jack has got the assistance of the drag reduction system. Yellow flags continue to wave, and Francis is out. A disappointing day. Disappointing day, but what about Frome? Is he waiting for the straight? It might be risky now because Jack Lacey will have to DRS to defend. No, he goes in. So Warren Haig, the gamble didn't pay off to stay out there a lap longer. He could have actually gone into the pits with them and been further down the pit lane. He could have maybe had a jump on the pair of them, but wasn't to be for Haig.
He took the gamble, haven't paid off, but he's still got time to catch up to the rest of them, and I think Flying Foam looks to be on a two-stop strategy as well, so I don't think he can make those supers last until the end of the race. I might try, but it's quite difficult.
Yeah, and let's just have a look at the telemetry of flying frame here, looking at the amount of energy recovery system he's got as he in his pursuit of CC Brain here. You know, both level, both managing their ERS reasonably well, so happy days. But I wonder if we're going to see another battle imploding between Ashbest and Dano. The two did make contact earlier on, so I wonder if Ashbest is seeking revenge. It would actually be a good time for Ashbest to make a pit stop and maybe get a jump on Dano. You know, possible points up for grab here. And no, he does. He gets the move done as Dano goes all out of sorts. But will Dano have the power of DRS here? He's turning up the overtake. He's turning up the ERS. And Ashbest, I think, has got this one done and dusted here.
Yep, he had the DRS as well, so there's really not much Dano could do to be overtaken. Ashbest will have to make a pit stop fairly soon. I'd imagine he's gone 13 laps on those tyres. He'll be losing time to his Jack Lacey and the Williams as well.
Yeah, and Ugi Azim's going to come up to the back of Dano. And if Ugi Azim comes up to the back of Dano, as will CC Flying Frame and Warren Haig, who are running very close to each other once again. So CC defending really well. Jack Lacey's out. Jack Lacey's out. I don't know where he's crashed, but he is out. I can't view drivers who crash out, sadly. But he is out. And look at this. Hulk, will Flying Frame have a power advantage over CC Brain here?
Well, yes. When you can use that to overtake is a different question. But yeah, you have the DRS. Is he going to turn up the ERS? It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's not close enough to make a move into this corner. He might be waiting for the pit straight. Certainly, I think if Fulham wants to make a strategy work, he's going to have to get past.
Dano's been overtaken as well, sorry.
He's going to have to get past the McLaren as soon as possible before those tyres start to die on him.
Oh, Frome's out of sorts. Frome is out of sorts. Haig trying to make an overtake. Chicken Owens is out. So we've got 12 runners left in the race. But, my goodness me. Will Haig go for a dive bomb?
Well, he certainly isn't one to hold back usually, but I think that was a bit too far away to make any sort of realistic overtaking move.
Yeah. Fair enough. And Tom has just come out in front of AMS, so Tom defending anxiously for his position there. A good strategic drive from the back of the grid to be in 8th in the Force India, but AMS, he needs points. He's screaming for points here, Hulk. You know, he needs them. So, you know, he will want to make a move on Tom, but, you know...
Yep, as soon as possible when those tyres are cold, because it does take a while for those hardest compound tyres to warm up. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's much you can do on the straight really. He's got a Honda engine compared to the Mercedes engine in the Force India, but he's going to have to try. He's going to have a look at the inside and chicane. He's not really side by side, but he's following him through.
He's got to go into the overtake. He's got to go into the overtake, and he does. Is he going to have a little move down here as AMS? No, he's sizing him up for the straight here, really biding his time is AMS, but I think Tom's got just a little bit more ERS in him, but both of them are very, very low on additional power here. But yeah, AMS just struggling for drive, and I think the opportunity may have passed him. He might have one last opportunity down into turn 2. Flying Frome! Oh, Haig! CC Brain and Frome have made contact. And Grumpy's up to 4th. Oh no, CC Brain. Oh, what has happened there? Hulk?
I have no idea. It looks like they're just taking each other out and off the race until after the race to see if we can find anyone board footage of that.
I don't know if Haig's struggling. He's in 8th gear. He's going slow. Haig's driving. Oh, there's a safety car. Virtual safety car's out.
The second one of the race, and now it's always a very short virtual safety car. And that cause anyone to close up, it shouldn't not realistically. But...
No, AMS still on the back there of Tom, but that's not going to happen. So Grumpy's found himself in 4th place. Haig you know, could get a podium out of it. So I wonder what happened. It's a shame we didn't stay on board with that. That would have been one hell of an incident.
Yeah, we'll hopefully see some footage after the race, because no idea what happened there. They're not known for drivers who cause incidents, really, but.
Yeah, and AMS, I think, has to give up the ghost. But Tom will have good pace, actually, in this part of the race, because he is only 2.1 seconds behind Wacko. So I wonder if the Sauber drive will come under any pressure. CC Brain will be looking to attack Grumps, and Grumpy, you know, he will want that full pace. He will fight hard for it.
Yeah, and just looking at the at the FP chart, it looks like Blind Form believes it's his own fault for the incident. So I presume he just tried to make a move on CC Brain and were too adventurous and took them out. Took himself out, of course. So
like uncle, like nephew, like uncle, like nephew. Flying Flame and Chicken Owns out of the race. So sad to see, but you know, life goes on, and Juho Finn has got to hope there's another retiree, and he will get himself a championship point. At the moment, that is being held by Dano, who's doing well in the Mercedes. Ash Best having a really difficult time there in the Williams. You know, he'll be knocking on the door of Amos Noogie, asking for a stronger car. But I think the race is starting to fizzle out here, so we are going to ask our viewers if you've got any questions in the chat for myself and Hulk. Just do hashtag Ask Aaron or hashtag Ask Hulk, and we will respond.
Yep, there really isn't anyone anywhere near each other at the moment. Abiodun's had a very comfortable race since the pit stops. He got ahead of Jack Lacey first, was able to build a gap while the others struggled to get past the Williams driver, and he hasn't really looked back since.
I agree. But Warren Haig, he'll be a good podium finish for him, a good morale booster. You know, a driver who suffered horrendous luck last season in FP after winning some of the opening rounds. You know, it's going to be a good podium for him, and I think it'll be well deserved if he hangs on to it.
Yeah, he's fought well always. He's been with not the leading pack. Abiodun's been by himself, but the people fighting for second for most of the race. He's still not that far behind Duke either. He puts up the penalty. He also has his own penalty. So yeah, he's done well this race in the Red Bull. We're hoping this could be the start of a good season for him, I think.
No, it could be.
He's actually catching up to Mr. Grumpy. So
yeah, it takes a few laps to get those tyres back up and running after going into the gravel like he did. So Mr. Grumpy will use all of his experience. I think if Mr. Grumpy can do one thing now, if he used his tactical brain, he would save as much of the ERS as he can. He's 8 seconds off third. It's unlikely he's going to get a podium. Grumps, you need to save your ERS, because at the moment CC Brain has got a lot in reserve. So CC Brain probably slowing himself down for a few laps, getting enough energy recovery available to him to make an attack on Grumpy, and Grumpy is vulnerable at this stage of the race.
Yep, Mr. Grumpy is quite difficult to get past, as I'm sure you found out yourself at some point last season.
Very fast rider. Hulk, you've got a question in the chat from Gaming Alamonda. What is your favourite burger? B-E-R-G-E-R. It's a burger, like Hulk and burger. What's your favourite?
Fan of just beef burger with bacon on. It's really one I go for. And cheese. Let's put cheese, bacon and beef more close together, I think.
Oh, I mean, some say that the Big C burger is quite tasty, but I'd like to know what that consists of. We've got a question from Josh, who's asked, why am I so quick? I don't know, I don't think I'm very fast. Question from Onto the Podium to both guys. Who's had the most surprising drive so far this race? For me, I'm going to go with Tom from the back of the grid to hold his composure and get away with any incidents. I think he's had one of the better drives so far. What about you, Holt?
Yeah, in terms of good drives, that was surprising. I think, Tom definitely, he's had a solid race, just avoided incidents. Managed to get another point because of it. At the other end of the scale, you could say that maybe Ash Bess hasn't done as well as people might have expected, considering his pace on the last game.
No, I agree with you there, Hulk. But at the moment, we've got CC Brain putting Grumpy under a little bit of pressure. And Hulk, just in 5 seconds, why did you not want onto the podium as admin, says Big C?
He knows the reason. That's why.
He knows the reasons, Hulk, but will Mr. Grumpy know the reasons why CC Brain is having a go here for 4th place? And Mr. Grumpy lets that position go as Mr. Grumpy reaches deep into the cesspit of his experience to realise that he must take whatever he can out of this race, and if that involves no battling, then so be it. But what an overtime.
Yeah, although Mr. Grumpy might be having a look back at him down the end of this pit straight. I don't think he's quite close enough. He's have a little look, but not quite. Is he going to follow him through here? He's only medium ERS mode at the moment. He's gone down to low, so I think he's accepted that he's not going to keep up with the McLaren driver.
Yeah, I think Mr. Grumpy probably needs to think about his ERS management, because Wacko will, come back at him. And Dano is coming onto the back of Ash Best here. Ash Best under threat here, so a battle for 10th and 9th. So, yeah, Ash Best defending that for all he's worth in the Williams Mercedes. Another question in the chat, Hulk. If you get taken out in a league race that you can't be bothered with, will you turn into Hulk Smash? I don't think you would as a league director, would you?
No.
No, that's fine. Take us through this, Hulk. Dano and Ash Best.
Yeah, this isn't something you'd see very often, as Ash Best being overtaking on track on pure pace. As Dano looking at the inside of the chicane. This is a ballsy manoeuvre. Is he going to make it stick? At the end of sector 2, he's already well ahead at the end of the chicane. But Ash Best doesn't have the DRS. He's going to be close enough to make any response. It doesn't look like it. And that's Ash Best only going to have 1 point at the end of this race now.
Yeah. No, that's a shame. But Warren Haig on the back of Oogie Azim. So just bear with me 1 moment. I do want to see if JP Greenwood's online. So I'm going to see if I can invite him into the party to give his thoughts. Oh no, yes, he's still here. We'll give him a party invite. We did forget about him after his early retirement. But, it is an FP tradition to get the thoughts of JP Greenwood, who often finds himself retired a few laps into the race.
Mr.
Oh,
I was just going to say that Mr. Grumpy has actually stuck with CC Brain. Still very close to him. Still not out of the question that he could get 4th place.
No, definitely not. I think Mr. Grumpy would need to stay within the DRS to protect himself. And Frome's asked, was him and CC in the net lead? Lead. Oh, Mr. Grumpy! Oh my god! Oh no, we just need to see the debris. AMS, is he going to go past Mr. Grumpy's deceased vehicle? He is. Oh, Mr. Grumpy's out. Mr. Grumpy out of the Australian Grand Prix. Oh, so experienced. And another man who's out. We'll speak with him in a moment. But look at that, Warren Haig making a move there on Oogie Azim. Sweet as you like. So Warren Haig's tyres coming to life. So that pit stop did make a difference, those fresher tyres, and he's got that move done. And Dano back behind Ash Best, so there's been a mistake somewhere.
It wasn't a mistake. Ash Best just clean overtook him. That was the chicane. Now Dano's going to have a look back at him here. He's going to look at the battle. Could be to the very end of the race. He can swoop around the outside of turn 1, can't quite manage it. They head now down towards, I believe it's turn 3. He has the DRS here. Going to look at the inside. He is. He's not quite close enough to make it stick there.
No, he's not, Hulk. And we've got JP Greenwood, joining us, following his early retirement. JP, you came across a Renault spiralling in the first sector of 20 Boy Junior. Just to describe the moment of climbing into his vehicle and having the title of the first DNF of the new PSGL season.
To be honest, that was pretty quick. So I don't know. I just came out. I don't know. I just came to, and I saw a Renault parked in the middle of the track. I had no time to react really to. I did put the brakes on, but it was a waste of time. Yeah, and I was P11 at that point, not far behind P10. So yeah, a track I don't like. I was doing alright at that time. So yeah, not a happy time.
No, I'm sorry to hear that, and a lot of the viewers on the stream, they were rooting for you, and they, are certainly sending their best wishes to you as well, following that early retirement. Hulk, is there anything that you want to ask JP, from his experience today?
You've made you cracked out in qualifying as well. Obviously, different to how it happened in the race, but was there any particular reason why that happened, or was it just a mistake? Or
I just took left under 10, 11, 12 way too quickly. I hit those curbs, and and unfortunately on this game, as soon as you hit them, you kind of go into a wall. So it's not been a good day all round really. I thought I was doing really well in the race, and I mean I can't really say too much about the incident because I'll probably get pretty angry in a minute. But
no, I understand, JP. And just before we, I understand it's an emotional time for you, so I don't want to ramp up the emotions. We won't want that to happen. But we saw in qualifying you were really wrenching the car around through the chicane. While I was on board with you, I was really worried. I was thinking, he looks a little bit shaky going into this corner. Did you feel shaky, while you were approaching that corner yourself, thinking, am I going to do it right? Am I not? Were you nervous at any point?
Well, it's just with the DRS now. It's a lot more to do on the pad. So I think it's just getting used to changing your settings with the corners on the pad, and that's why it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get used to, I think, to do that. And then, but yeah, that's probably the reason why that was. But more than part of it, other part of it is just not very good.
Well, you'll only get better from here, and the whole of the PSGL site are right behind you, and they'll be rooting you on at the next race, and of course in the F6 League, which you proudly are, a league admin of which many on the PSGL site admire. So we do appreciate your contributions.
No worries. Thanks very much.
No worries.
And I've been keeping an eye on the battle for the lead. Well, it's a battle, not much of a battle anymore, but one here has been catching Abby Orden. I shouldn't forget that Abby Orden has much older tyres than the rest of the field, I believe.
Yeah, that could get quite exciting.
I think we're going to have to check that now. He's gone 18 laps on those tyres.
Sorry, there's a move potentially happening here between Dano and Ash Best. This could get pretty spicy. Down the next DRS straight, headed into turn 2. Can Dano find some purchase? He's trying to go around. He's gone right into the back of Ash Best, and he's lost a bit of his wing. That's a misjudgment. I think he was trying to throw the dummy, and Ash Best has got gravel all over his tyres, and Dano gives that move back. And that's fair. Dano's made a mistake. He holds his hand up to it, and he gives the position back, even though he's got a damaged wing, and he can go straight into the pits to get that repaired. He gives the possession back to Ash Best, and that's what you like to see, drivers owning up to errors, and I think Ash Best will respect that in some sort of way. He might be furious at the contact, but Dano gives that position back. That's what you like to see, a fair driver.
Yeah, it was a bit of a foolish move, for being honest. He's trying to do the dummy into the in the braking zone, but it was adventurous at least, and it was if he pulled it off, would have been quite a sight to see. But nice to see that he hasn't just decided, oh well, he's off the track, I'll take that position for himself.
Yeah, and will Dano go into the pits? I mean, it's a risk for him to stay out there. He could lose some points if he makes an error. You know, Hugh has been nowhere to be seen. Will he go in? No, he'll stay out. He's going to wrench it out. But Warren Hay, rightfully, you're saying he's catching Abiodun. Is he going to run out of laps?
He does have a penalty as well, which is a bit unfortunate for him. He's also one warning away from the second penalty, so he really doesn't want to do that. That could cost him third place. Second place, rather.
Yeah, that's a shame. So, Warren Haig used up too many jokers, so it won't make a difference, but it'd make for good viewing. So, but I think Haig's a smart man. He will be thinking about that gap to Ugazim all the time. You know, he's not worried about Abiodun. And he listens into the stream as well, so he will be knowing, he knows the data that's being fed back to him, and he'll be storing it into a cesspit of his experience. As look at that, Haig spraying himself all around the race circuit in the Red Bull. A brilliant drive so far.
Yep, everyone's saying is 20 laps old. I can't imagine there being much life on them by this point. Warren Haig's Michael Patterson is 16 laps old, so it should be possible for Haig to catch. A 2-second gap. Obviously quite a bit more difficult to overtake. Will he want to overtake? Because then he's not going to pull out a 3-second gap in the next 3 laps.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But 3 laps to go, Hulk. I think Tom's had a really good drive. I think Waco's got himself back into it slightly. I mean, he did have a shaky qualifying, but you know, he's still out there, he's still competing, he hasn't crashed, and you know, he's doing pretty well, isn't he, Waco?
Yep, he is. Certainly a bit of a quiet race for him, really. I haven't really seen him all that much, but he's done well to be in fifth position. Can't quite remember where he qualified. Qualified
14th, 15th,
13th, I think. So yeah, he's done well here. Obviously not quite as impressive as Tom, making up 13 places, but still a solid drive from him.
Yeah, Warren Haig is now within a second of Abiodun, so I wonder if we're going to see some late drama. I don't think Haig wants this at all. Oh, he's picked up another penalty. Anthony Warren Haig has picked up another penalty. So he will definitely go for it. Yellow flags, Dano's out. Oh, I did say Dano maybe should have pitted. He maybe should have pitted, but he didn't. He didn't, and that's cost him any chance of points. I wonder if he'll still pick up a point.
Yeah, I think the will have crossed the 90% threshold, so he will still get 1 point. He might actually... No, I think Duovian will eventually pass him. He's a full lap down, but he will eventually get past.
Yeah.
So he's still got 1 point. So.
Yeah, well, hey, if you're listening, if you're watching the stream, go for a pass, give us some drama. You're going to get a podium anyway, just go for it. You know, we need some drama. You've got to hype Haig up a little bit, you know. Ramp his emotions up as we approach this final lap. And Abiodun really is running out of ERS and he's struggling for tyres. Haig's got the same power unit, so... And he'll have better traction and better drive out of corners with, you know, 4 lap younger tyres. So Haig has heard us and he is going for it. Abiodun goes defensive, but Abiodun will win this should he not get involved in a collision.
Yep, he doesn't want to fight this too hard, surely. He will be told that Warren Haig has a penalty, so it doesn't matter if he overtakes him on track, because he can go for a move down the inside here. Yes. Oh, there is a bit of contact between the two there, but nothing too serious, and Haig does make the move stick eventually. And yeah, he looks like he's not going to pull out a 6-second gap on Ugi, so I think third place for Warren Haig.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Hulk, that was an incredible overtake. Haig heard the orders, and that's what this man can do. He might have picked up a few penalties, but he is one hard racer, and he is admired all over the PSGL site. He has his critics, but I'll tell you what, it depends how you like your cup of tea, and I definitely like a bit of Haig. very good driver, very hard racer, and he's not going to win today, but I think that just shows you that he's got it in his locker to win a race if he wants to. Just pushing Abby Oden out of the way here. So Haig will cross the line in first place, but Abby Oden will be your race winner as Tom picks up a penalty, and don't think that's going to cost him too much unless Walker has one. But here you go, it's going to be Warren Haig who crosses the line first, but your winner will be Abby Oden. And will Oogie inherit second? He does, so Warren Haig will keep a podium at least. What about CC Brain as he defends fourth from Wacko? So a good drive from Brain, had an incident with Frome, but some good points from McLaren. Wacko, good drive there to finish fifth, and Tom, what a drive from the back of the grid. And who else is out there? Hulk.
It was AMS who's going to come across the line in 7th place. Here we go now, and he didn't have any penalties. Ash Best is going to pick up there lonely 8th place, and might not be what he was looking for, but really does seem to be a bit of a difficult car.
Yeah, it's not an easy car. I just wonder if they're going to do what they did with the Sauber last season and give it the chop. But Juho Finn, despite everything, he's kept on going, and he's going to earn himself 2 points for Ferrari. JP Greenwood cannot stand the sight of seeing Juho Finn score points over him. It could have been JP's day, but it's going to be Juho's day. A great 9th place for the Ferrari driver, and the podium celebrations, they're going to be wild, aren't they? You've got Oogie, finishing second, Abby Oden, the race winner in the McLaren, and Warren Haig in third. Happy days.
Yep, it's an interesting moustache from the McLaren driver. Let's see. It's a fun race. Obviously a very high attrition rate.
Yeah, who's your driver today if you had to pick someone before we list out the race marshals?
Yeah, the obvious one is Tom. It's an incredible drive, making up 13 positions. I don't think you can really look further than him.
No, you can't. He'll be absolutely over the moon. So Abby Oden wins ahead of Oogie Azim, Warren Haig, who takes the final podium, CC Brain 4th, Wacko from 13th on the grid to finish 5th, from 19th on the grid, Tom finishes 6th, AMS 7th, Ash Best 8th, Juho Finn 9th, and Dano, I believe, will pick up the final point with the 90% rule. If I had to pick a driver today, I would probably go with... I'd like to say Tom, he's done a great job, but I thought Warren Haig, I thought he provided a little bit of action towards the end. I quite liked his busty drive as well, so happy days for everyone. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. Grumpy, Frome, Chicken Owens, Jack Lacey, Francis, Kingdom Martin, 20 Boy Jr., JP Greenwood, and Jack Tyler. So we'll get the podium finishers into the party if you just give me a moment. So it's Abby Oden. We'll get CC in because he had that incident. We can't speak with Warren Haig, so we'll speak with Oogie Azim. I wonder if there's any other driver. We'll get Tom in, actually. He had a standout drive, so we'll hopefully get 4 names in. But Hulk, what a season opener. That's quite interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quieting down a bit towards the end, but certainly at the beginning, first stint especially, was very action-filled. Certainly bodes well for the rest of the season.
No, definitely does. So thanks to all the viewers for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It'd be good to get to 100 subscribers as soon as possible. We're just trying to get Abby Oden into the party. I don't think I want to invite these new names, these CSR Abby Odens. I can't bother to find them, unless someone can recommend him to me. No, hang on, I've got him. We've got Oogie Azim in here as well. And
I wasn't on the podium, was I supposed to be?
No. You had a standout drive. That's why I've got you here, Tom. We'll just wait for Abby Oden to get in here. But as you can see by the laughter in the background, a lot of drivers happy with their performances. We're not hearing much from CC Brain, understandably a little bit pissed off, as some may say. So we've got Abby Oden in here. Hulk, do you want to ask him about his race today?
Yeah, he had a bit of a quiet race after you got past Jack Lacey. You did pit very early. Was there a particular reason for that? Did you? Were you
Yeah,
worried towards the end of this?
my tyre temps were just dead. Couldn't control them.
Yeah, it is a very difficult thing to do on this game. So, do you think that's the worry for the rest of the season, or do you think you can manage them a bit better in other races?
I think it's just for Australia, but
No, well, you sound very delighted with that victory, and hopefully, you go places from here on out. Just any words about your win? Are you happy?
yeah.
Yeah, no, okay. I think we've covered it all. We'll move on to Ugi Azim, who might have some more emotions, known as the Rawalpindi Express, lighting up cities like Lahore and Karachi. You did a very good drive today. How do you feel?
That felt nice. First race of the season, first race of the year, sort of, and good groove. But Abiodun raced really nicely. I was catching him at the end of the first stint, but he pit. I thought maybe he's going for a two-stopper, but really made the softs last. So, good game. Done.
Thank you.
Good to hear. Seemed like you had a good race. Hulk, do you have any questions for Ugi before we move on?
When he passed you with about 3 laps to go, or however many it was, did you know he had a penalty, or were you expecting him?
Yes, I knew he had a penalty, so I didn't fight him that hard. But he really put distance on me after that, which is strange. Well, he pit 2 laps later than everyone else, so fair play, I guess. Good strategy.
Yeah, no, seems good. We're going to move on to CC Brain, who finished in 4th place. Had an incident with Flying Throne that we didn't manage to catch, but we saw you, really making love with the gravel track. Just describe how that felt emotionally when you were beached in the gravel.
Yeah, first of all, it was my fault. I was quite ahead of Flying From. He missed his braking point and ran completely into me and run me off the track. Luckily for me, I had no damage, so I could carry on. But yeah, felt like I got robbed off the podium.
Could it have cost you a race win, as we saw Haight got past Abiodun at the end? Could that have been you?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. I had a penalty anyway, so they would have got me on penalties. But probably more than a podium than a win.
Hulk, any questions for CC? He's clearly emotionally distraught, as we can hear him at the moment.
Not really. I was going to ask about that crash, but yeah. I mean, form did or not to it being his fault, although from what you described, I don't think you can do anything else. It's a bit disappointing for him.
Yeah, it is. And we're going to move on to our final interviewer, or interviewee rather. It's Tom AJ, battling to get into the grid, running home from God knows where, downloading an update. Next thing you know, I say start in the in the chat, and you're like, no.
A bit of mutiny there.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I know. I was getting my knickers in a twist, but it doesn't matter.
no, but you managed to get onto the grid.
That,
No, that's all right. You managed to get on the grid. You started from 19th in the Force India, and you come home to finish in 6th. It was probably the drive of the day, voted the commentators' driver of the day. So, well done on that. You must be pretty ecstatic despite everything in the run-up to that.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't have a setup either. I just had to use the default, which wasn't too bad, but I don't know, you can definitely tell when you're using the stock setup, because obviously 6 ballast and whatnot. Makes a massive difference. And the brakes as well, so I normally run like 50 or 52 brake bias with, I don't know, 85, 90%. So the brakes were a little bit iffy for quite a lot of the race.
I can imagine. You're looking forward to F2, aren't you, for the season ahead? You said you were surprised to find yourself on that grid, but the league directors clearly thought you were deserving of it. So, well done on your seat, and I'm sure you'll have a good season.
Alright, thank you.
Cool. Hulk, any questions?
Yeah. you seem to just avoid every single incident. Did you actually see anything, or were you just lucky enough to drive past them all?
What was that? Were you talking to me? Sorry.
Yeah, when like,
Sorry,
there
what
was
was the
a lot of
question?
incidents ahead of. Well, you started right at the back, and there was
Yeah.
a lot of incidents ahead. Was it difficult to navigate through them, or did you just by fortune miss them? Or...
Well, I don't know I don't know how far you can see back, but I knew what was going to happen, so I just let everyone drive off. I even put hers to low or none. Just saved it for like 2 laps, so I had absolute maximum for the next laps when things started to quieten down. That's how I managed to make the way past.
No, well done. Should we wrap this up, Hulk?
Yep. Yep.
Did you want to say bye to people?
Bye, Hog. See you later, guys. Thank you for the good race.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time out at Shanghai.
Chunk.